Is it possible, Charles, you know, a moment ago you said,
who do you harm?
Who do you harm out there?
Yeah.
Or who bothers you? And I instantly thought of, you know, when you said who bothers me. Is it possible to get where you've gotten without hurting someone?
Well, I think it is. You know, it's funny, when I came in tonight, one of the fellows that works on your show, I had done something in this building, and he said that when I was on the show, he wondered if I was kidding or was I serious, something about a film club. I had no idea what he was talking about, except I knew I was kidding, because I don't do that to people.
Yeah.
I think it is possible. I think one of the problems in working situations, the people think because you're in a work situation and the tension that comes out of that, that makes it okay to treat people badly. Say, look, we got a show to do here, we got a job to do here, look, we got to get that letter out, we got to... I find it unacceptable. I mean, I think what we do, or what I do, it's a very high-tension profession, making movies or television, and there are people that go through entire careers without treating people badly, and there are people that treat people badly so easily.
But you practice what you preach, because I remember I did a little bit on one of your movies, The Incredible Shrinking Woman, and you went out of your way to come over and talk to me, and you made me feel very comfortable.
Well,
everybody kind of does their thing on a motion picture set. Nobody looks out for anyone else.
Well, actually, what I did there, if I remember this, you were singing "Little Things Mean a Lot" in The Incredible Shrinking Woman, and I tried to get you to go to the director and ask him if you could sing a second song. As though
you were setting me up.
No, I was trying to set the director up. Look, you know, it's a long day.
Yeah, I mean, it's an old song. It's not that good. It should be sung by a woman, really.
Really? I didn't know that. But I said, go and do "Don't Fence Me In," you know, like, as though you, as you played yourself quite very nicely, I thought. Did you like yourself in the...
No, I don't like myself on television or in motion pictures, really.
Excellent in that picture, Incredible Shrinking Woman.
You were just fair.
Well, that's...
No, I'm kidding.
No, I wasn't...
You are such a good actor. You don't... all kidding aside. You I'll
Excuse me, Frank. No sense in living this.
My first get... No. But you really are. I wonder how many of them know that your very first film really is Rosemary's Baby. That's a classic.
Yeah.
You've done some great things. Catch-22.
Yeah, well, somebody had to do it.
Thieves. I liked you in Heartbreak Kid. Was that the one that kind of broke through?
That was my first leading role, yes.
Let me, if I may, mention some of the leading ladies you worked with, because I'd like to have you comment, if you would, on each one of them. Farrah Fawcett.
She's blonde. She used to be married to Lee Majors.
Jessica Lange.
Jessica Lange, she's in a new picture called Frances. It's coming out. You wanted different kinds of comments, didn't you?
Yeah,
we did this when I co-hosted the show.
I want to, yeah. You
Jessica Lange is one of my best friends.
You want to go back to Farrah Fawcett, who might hear about this?
I love Jessica Lange. She's one of my best friends. And Farrah's a lovely girl, too.
Yeah,
one time on a show, they asked me about Farrah Fawcett, and I said I had never met Farrah Fawcett, that she had it in her contract. She didn't have to meet the leading man if she didn't want to. And a lot of people interpreted that as some kind of oblique way of saying that she was removed, which was completely not true. She's so nice, and if you've met her,
beautiful lady. Wow. Diane Cannon.
Diane Cannon. I like Diane Cannon. She was excellent in Heaven Can Wait.
Did you? Yeah, she was. Boy, they show that movie a lot on cable.
Heaven Can Wait.
Yeah. Sybil Shepherd. In Heartbreak Kid.
Sybil Shepherd is singing now, I think. She has a career as a singer. She's a very nice singer.
She married a used car salesman.
She married a fellow in Tennessee. I think that's where she went.
She's a used car dealer.
And she's a talented girl, too.
Very talented.
May run for the Senate.
Very pretty. Sybil Shepherd.
Just a rumor.
Miss Piggy.
Now I deny everything.
Now we're going to get serious. Is the child yours? No. If you had not become an actor, what would have been your second choice as a profession?
I think a vagrant, Mike. You know, the hours are good, you know.
The pay is not much.
I think so. I think I was always interested in being a vagrant, but I got a lot of flack from my family, and they kind of pushed me into this, you know.
Being in a warm, this is a great area for vagrants because the climate is right. I don't want to be where you have to get one of those.
There's a lot of people. This is not a bad field, actually. There are people up where I live in New York on the Upper West Side that are making a lot more money in vagrancy work than a lot of people who are trying to work.
I want to know how your parents reacted when you told them what you were going to do for a living.
Well, you know, it's funny. I'm going to do a concert in my hometown.
Oh, you're going to do a
Pittsburgh.
one-man show?
Yeah, one-man show in September, and I'm going to talk about that in the concert. Does this show go into Pittsburgh? Do you know?
The show goes everywhere.
It does. Well,
sure.
see, that's people are going to pay. You know. Do I get paid for doing this?
Of course not.
No.
Here, wait a minute.
Well, let's just talk.
I have to do this a fourth time.
No, completely unnecessary.
You want to keep
just
that.
let me have that.
Was Pittsburgh...
Nobody encourages you to go into show business. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, but what was the reaction when you said...
What about the guy who came? I forget what he was called. I did a show with him. You know, ever see the guy who twirls a lot of plates?
Yes, I've had him on my show, and he works with his
parents
wife.
say when he said he wanted to do that?
Well, first of all, he
Mom, Dad.
He hung out in the kitchen a lot. You can imagine the guy with the...
What do you want to do?
I want to spin your china for the rest of my life. Yes.
Acting throws people, but
how about Pittsburgh, though? Is it conducive for beginning an entertainment career?
I don't think any place is really
Gene Kelly and you
it.
are the only people I can think of from Pittsburgh.
Well,
who made it in this business?
In the movies, maybe. I don't know. There may be other people. I mean, Fritz Weaver's from Pittsburgh.
How far is Beaver Falls from Pittsburgh?
I don't know, Mike.
Because that's where Joe Namath is from. So that's the only.
But I could find out.
What are you going to do in a one-man show? I'm curious. Will they understand you?
I think so. I'm going to talk about my experiences coming from Pittsburgh and going into the movies. I'm going to be out there and hope that I can tell it in an interesting...
Are you writing the material yourself?
I'm writing it presently, and I'm going to do my first... I'm going to do it in front of 40 people in a living room this Sunday out here.
Are you really?
Yes.
Where?
Just out at my friend who's in the green room, Ann Baker's daughter, Rita's house.
You know, I was curious. One of my favorite shows on television always was because of... I love to see genuine takes. You know, when actors aren't doing the takes, when just real people are reacting to something that's happening. And I used to watch in Candid Camera.
Yeah.
I was absolutely freaked out by that show, some of the things that happened. You wrote and directed that show early in your career.
I did for a while. I was there for a while. Not really that long. I was fired.
You said Alan Funt used to fire you and rehire you every 20 minutes.
I was fired 3 times. But everybody was fired on that show. That was the kind of show that if you did anything that they didn't like, they fired you. They didn't say don't do that. They just fired you. You know?
And then on the way out, well, I didn't mean a kid.
Really, I was fired and rehired 3 times. It's a show that I wanted to work on, but after a while, the thing about Candid Camera that's not that evident unless you're there is the discomfort of the people that don't know what's happening. The subjects.
What is your favorite? What is the funniest thing that's happened to you on that show? Because I can tell you some of the classics. In my mind, some of the classics.
What? You tell me.
A guy walks into now this is rigged. A guy walks into a diner, okay? Now it has been rigged before the man got there.
Right.
That the little stool he's sitting on can go up and down, and so can the one next to him, okay? Now he's sitting there, this big, rough truck driver sits down, and he's a huge man. He's at a normal height. And the little guy sitting next to him, who they hired, a real, Mr. Peepers type, is sitting there having his food, and his stool is going up. See?
Right.
Now, and the truck driver doesn't know, but his stool is going down. Finally, all you can see over the counter is the truck driver's head, and the other guy is about 6 feet in the air. And this man does not question one time that somebody is fooling with his chair. All he does is keep looking like this, and every time he looks up, he's looking higher. I tell you, that show just destroyed me. That was so wonderful.
People will do anything to avoid calling attention to themselves or making a fool of themselves. So you would rather just ignore everything. I saw one. It's not my favorite, but it's connected to what you're saying. There were 4 people in a waiting room, and 3 of them were connected with the show, and at one point they, for no reason at all, just stood up. And the person who wasn't connected with the show stood up. And they sat down, and he sat down, and no one really knew why. But nobody wants to call attention to them. No one wants to stand up.
You remember the time they simply put on a door, restroom? It didn't say men's or ladies. And they had a guy who was marvelous. He walked in there, and all it was a bowl where guys clean brooms and mops and things. And the guy came out, and it was just like you come out of a restroom. You know how guys do. And this guy who had been in there saw nothing in there, standing there waiting, and he sees the guy come out, looks like he's all relieved and everything. He goes back in, and there's nothing there. And the guy keeps going. They have people keep going in and coming out like they've found a restroom.
It's something like over 20 years.
The man stood there for 20 minutes. Could not believe that wasn't...
20 years this has been like a wonderful piece of American entertainment.
Will you stick around? We have a lovely lady coming to join us. We'd like to have you stay.
Sure.
Beth Howland from Alice will be here in just a moment.